In our last episode, we made a lot of progress in adding in some much needed life and energy into our industrial mega base here on the CH64 SMP server. We built a whole host of different vehicles, from cars to trucks, but today it's time to change gears and focus on the communal area of the server, as I want to build my first ever minigame. It's going to be a lot of fun, so make sure you hit that like button, stick along to the end, and let's begin. After a lot of procrastination during the making of this episode, I came up finally with the idea that I wanted to roll with, and that was to mix my love of constructing vehicles with a minigame. So I decided that I wanted to build an airdrop game. Now, it's not an entirely original concept, but I have tried my best to add in my own unique twists to it, and of course design my own original builds. So I found a perfect spot right by Saltwater Island where we can start to begin. This little island here sticking out of the water. So what I'm thinking today is that we will spend time terraforming it up and also building up the plane itself. So let's get building. And there we go. Now, I actually started off this build not that long ago on the recent Stream Day event here on the server, but I didn't get a chance to fully complete it, so I'm glad I was finally able to now. So I hope you enjoyed that time lapse, but now we need to spend a little bit of time and populate some of the interior, such as filling out his cockpit area here with some levers, some comparators, some repeaters, all to just add in a bit more life and detail into the build. Interiors aren't really my strong suit, so I've kept it overall quite basic, but I'm quite happy with how this has turned out. So it was as I was popping back to my factory area to pick up a few items, I then spotted a Mr. Wally Waldo just chilling out here in the van. It seems that he's been hidden away here, just taking in the sights of the factory and visiting everything there is to see. But you know what? From what I've heard of Wally Waldo is that he loves visiting new places. In fact, he particularly likes visiting all the bases of all the different cast members. So I think what we need to do now is take Wally on a little adventure and see who he would like to visit next on the server. So let's go and do that now. Okay, so I was thinking long and hard about who Wally Waldo might like to visit here on the server. And since Martin's probably one of my closest neighbors here, I thought that he'd be the perfect place to go and visit. Anyhow, I've been itching for an excuse to visit Martin's base, and it is coming along nicely. It's going to be developing into a cyberpunk city. I especially love Martin's first cyberpunk tower here. It is looking awesome. So I think this will be the perfect place for Wally to kick back and unwind. So I'm not going to show you exactly which apartments Wally is going to visit, but just know he's going to be somewhere in the vicinity and chilling. Okay, with the plane now fully constructed, it means we can start to move on and build up a little bit of redstone here at the rear of the plane, and that's so that we can dispense a number of items down below as players are doing their skydives, so they have to try and collect as many as they can whilst also trying to navigate through a number of glass hoops that we're going to be building here leading down towards the island. So if we head on side of the plane, we've got a nice little bit of space here at the rear. Now it is a little bit cozy, but I think we should have just about enough space to do what we need to do. So I have all the items that we need. Let's get started. First things first, I think we need to clear ourselves a little bit more space here. So I think by removing these 3 blocks here at the rear, that'll be plenty enough spaces. We need to add in some droppers a little bit later on. And I think the same with the front, we also need to remove a few blocks, ready to add in a trapdoor for the players to do their skydive from. And I think I may as well remove this wall whilst at it, just to give myself a little bit more space whilst constructing all the redstone. And then next to the trapdoor, what I think I'll do is I'll add in some redstone lamps, as that should add in a nice bit of energy into the whole experience, as we can add a nice little flashing effect when the players trigger their drops. So I think that will be quite cool. And with that, I think then we need to start adding in this row of wool here, so that we can add in our redstone line. I always like using wool for any kind of redstones. It makes it super clear where everything leads to. And if you're ever tunneling underneath of it, then you know exactly where it is and you don't accidentally damage it. But anyway, what I'm building here is our super simple redstone torch burnout block. It's super basic. It's nothing too advanced about it. It just should be enough to allow us to dispense around 25 items from the 3 droppers. I didn't want to add in too much dropping items, so I just want to add in a little bit of extra something that players need to think about as they're doing their skydive. So they'll have to think about navigating themselves through all the glass hoops that we'll build in a bit later on, and then also try and think about picking up some of the items that will be dropping alongside them. And then finally, we just need to add in an extra little line here to feed back to those redstone lamps so that we actually can add that flashing effect like I mentioned, and also activate the trapdoor to release the player on their skydive. And then finally, I think we just need to add in a button to actually do the activation. And with that, I think the redstone is complete. Now, there is a little bit of a flapping effect there, you'll notice, but I don't think I can avoid that with the sort of space constraints that I have at hand. But that should be fine. It's only really a problem whilst we've got the dirt layer beneath us. As I think once the dirt layer beneath the plane at the moment is removed, then it won't matter, as the first release will be enough to let the players go on their way. Yeah, that's looking good, and it seems to be working as expected, so that is awesome. But with that, let's turn our attention quickly to add in a trapdoor here at the rear of the planes. I need to add myself in a way to actually get in to be able to restock the chests there that drop the items. As with the passenger section now fully installed, there is no way for me to currently get in at the moment. So I think adding a trapdoor is probably the most subtle way to go about it. I think we're now finally ready to start thinking about removing the dirt platform beneath the plane. But annoyingly, it is raining and I hate rain both in-game and in real life. So I find myself, as always, waiting for the night to approach to sleep away the rain. But let's get this dirt platform removed. Okay, with everything now more or less wrapped up in the sky, it's time to turn our attention to the ground area here on this small island once again. And currently it's looking very bare and empty. So I think what we need to do now is spend some time terraforming it up and extending it a little further so that we have enough space for everything we need. And I'm thinking something along the lines of a deserted island. I think that could go quite well with the theme of doing a sky drop from the plane up above. But for this, I think we need to now hop over to my base and pick up a few items that we might need for that. Making really good progress over here at the island, but we do just need to fill in some of this empty space here with sand, as right now there's quite a few gaps between the sandstone slabs that we started adding in that short time lapse and then the upper levels there of all this stone and the cobblestone. So we just need to add in a bit more sand, and then I think we can pretty much call this transformation complete. There is but one thing left to complete for this minigame, and that is to add in some glass hoops leading from the airdrop zone from the plane all the way down to the island. And I want to add in a mixture of different sized hoops, and I'll use different colors for them. So we'll have red being the hardest, and it's going to be quite a small size. We'll make quite a challenge for players to pass through, but it will come with higher points that the player would be scored with. And then also then have the sort of the medium size ones, so orange, that will be a little bit easier. And then finally we'll have the green hoops, and they'll be the largest and easiest to pass through. So there should hopefully be a little bit of a mixture of different challenges that a player can take on should they want to. And there we go. All the glass hoops for players to pass through from the skydrop is now in place. And hopefully I've mixed them up enough and added in enough space between them to make it all doable. I've tried my best to add in a good mix of the different sized and coloured hoops, and hopefully not overlapping each other too much. So we'll have to give this a few test runs, I think, just to make sure we've got them positioned okay. And I might see if I can grab someone else from the server to help me out and just test run it with me and make sure it's all good before we say it's fully ready for everyone to actually try. To make room for a couple of beds and some barrels for players to store their items in, we need to go ahead and remove the first couple of rows of seats. Let's go ahead and get them removed. And then we can go and place down a couple of beds for players to set their spawn. And then finally, if we remove the couple of blocks next to them, we have space to place in some barrels. So I think that should do the job. And the last thing we need to do is I want to place an elytra here for players to actually use when they do their sky drops, so that they keep their main elytras stored safely in their item storage here, and then they use the one that we provide. So if we place in an item frame here, I'll eventually put it in there ready for players. But I do need to go and purchase one from Jess's shop because I don't have a spare at the moment. To quickly remedy this, I then headed over and purchased the elytra that I'd be needing. And once all fully paid up, I then also paid a visit to Archie's bulk buy barge, since we'd be needing to purchase a whole lot of firework rockets ready to stock up the plane so that players have a way to actually fly back up once they've completed their skydive. But with all the firework rockets and the elytra purchased, it meant that we were finally ready to start some early testing of the minigame. Now thankfully, Terick and Archie both kindly offered to help me out with this, so let's go and join them now and have some fun. Basically, in a nutshell, I've tried to simplify it as much as possible, but I was thinking, so set your spawn, grab or store your items, use the elytra there just so that you can leave your own one up here. So in theory, that if you did die down there, then you would spawn back up here and you could fly down again with your own. Use the rockets from the barrel, enter the drop zone, press button to go, then try and collect as many items as you can whilst passing through the hoops.
Cool. Sounds good. Perfect. I shouldn't have got 121 levels before this, should I?
Probably not. There is at least a reasonable chance you might lose them.
So I'm curious, do the items start dropping like as soon as the button's pushed kind of thing?
It should start so it should open the trapdoor a very short moment after it. It should then start dispensing items. It's like a very short delay.
Okay.
And maybe I need to add in some new blocks.
Yeah, like a beep, beep, beep.
And of course, there's the funky trapdoor animation. I couldn't figure out how to stop it, like flapping. Then when it pulses through to the lamps.
Okay, I got like a red ring and a piece of dirt.
Nice, nice.
I'm gonna go.
You go, and I'm gonna try and watch to help you count rings.
Yeah, me too. Nice green. Doesn't help this raining.
No. Well, that was quick.
Almost poetic.
And rip the levels.
Yeah, I was going to say, you want to say about your levels?
They're gone. Terick, you can have another go. I'll try and count rings for you.
Yeah, just gonna dump that. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Geronimo. Nice.
Oh. Does this count as a disqualification? I think stopping on a ring would be disqualification.
Disqualified, cool. Yeah, okay, then I can put that in the book. That makes sense.
Yeah. Because like you have to keep falling, you have to keep going. Otherwise it's just,
Cool. I'm going to give it a go then. I've actually not given it a proper go since putting in the hoops. So, I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Spawn is set. Alright, wish me luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Okay, I didn't die.
Nicely done.
I picked up a single nugget. I'm not sure how many hoops I went through, but I think I went through at least a few greens.
So I think a lot of the items are like still going, like being dispensed when you're like 3/4 of the way down.
Yeah, I was thinking about this because they're quite slow to start dispensing, and then when you get some momentum, when you're properly flying through, then you're going quite fast.
Yeah.
I wonder if I need to make the dispensing start happening before actually open the trapdoor, maybe?
I think so, yeah. Because if items are in the air, it's almost like an incentive for people to go faster to try and catch them kind of thing, but it also increases your chances of dying.
I'd probably say for the blocks as well, if they're going to be going like faster than us, it may be nice to have like really colourful blocks like your concrete or something, because we may be able to see them in the air a little bit better.
A little self-advertising there.
There
as
we
well.
go.
Yeah.
You can name them all, after your shop.
Yeah, that's a good shout, actually. Yeah.
It's like Mark's blue concrete.
Come buy it.
Available for 2 diamonds stack.
Or 3 stacks for 5 diamonds. Get yourself some concrete.
Okay, please do this. That would just be the best.
I think I will do that.
Okay, so if the timing is tweaked so the items drop a little bit earlier, so actually stand right up against the wall there, Archie, like where the trapdoor would still be flipped.
Yeah.
Because then
if I jump.
Okay, you jump and I'm gonna open the trapdoor. Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. I can hit the button for you. I think count to like 1 or 2 and then go. And then more of the items will be in the air already. So we can kind of like trial this a little bit. So,
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
1, 2. Oh, yep. There we go. I'm really good at this.
That was brilliant.
I was so focused on the items.
Nice.
I just forgot about the rings totally.
And Archie, you can put some advertisement for boxes of rockets too.
That is true.
Oh, true.
Yeah, rename them all. Yeah, bought at Archie's bulk buy barge.
Maybe I need to sponsor this plane or something.
Nice. There we go.
Getting into the entrepreneurial spirit.
There's a wandering trader on this ring. Okay, there was a wandering trader on this ring. I just nudged him off by accident.
Oh,
by accident, yeah.
I flew into him. It was legitimately an accident.
by accident. And then quotation marks. All wandering villages. He was just wanting to join in on the fun, and then you knock
Pretty
him off.
much.
I'm gonna give it a go. Right, hitting the button. I'm gonna give it a second. Right. Oh, yeah, I'm dead.
Oh.